Hello, my name is the Retro Gaming Goose and welcome back to another episode and happy Pride Month. So this is episode 2 in my very short series of queer gaming icon. As a member of the queer community, I think I can speak a little bit about this subject, but this is very much following up on my previous video, which was about Samus. If you haven't seen that, it was last week's video. It's on my channel, you can find it. But this week I wanted to talk about my favorite ever gaming franchise, and if you haven't guessed already by the gameplay that's playing over the top of this, it is the Legend of Zelda series. And in particular, we are going to be talking about Link as a queer gaming icon. And after doing some research on this subject, there seems to be quite a lot of people that agree with. However, I would have to say there is nothing in the canon of the story that suggests that Link is gay or is any way queer. Which is odd how he's become such a queer gaming icon, like a huge gaming icon. Now, for me, a lot of the Legend of Zelda stories are a story about a man who goes out to save his best friend. I think it is literally, as far as I know, I played every single Zelda game, and as far as I can remember, the only game where it ever expresses any love interest between Link and Zelda is Skyward Sword. So with that in mind, you can look at a lot of the Legend of Zelda games and consider them a story about a queer man who goes out to save his chaotic blonde best friend. That is definitely how I like to imagine the stories go at the moment. Now, in the vast majority of the Legend of Zelda games, Link is a silent protagonist or says maybe one or two words every now and again. And when doing some research on this topic, a lot of people said that because he doesn't speak, he doesn't explain his personal feelings and such. You don't really get an idea of his sexual preferences or anything like that. But I would say that it is by design in a way that you project yourself onto this character of Link. He is a silent protagonist. Technically, he's not even called Link because you can rename him in every single game except for Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. Now, because he is a silent protagonist, that means you naturally project your own personality and your own sort of thoughts and feelings into this character. That is how they are designed as silent protagonists. It happens with every silent protagonist in every game, is that you start to relate more because you can project more. So I don't know if it's just that the Legend of Zelda games are incredibly popular games, and because they're so incredibly popular, a lot of queer people play these games. However, in the majority of the Legend of Zelda games, there are a lot of queer undertones to the storyline. In the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, probably the most famous Legend of Zelda game, spoiler alert here if you've never played it, Zelda is chic. She literally cross-dresses to become chic, to disguise herself, and that is a big thing in especially the Smash Brothers games. Smash Brothers Melee, I believe you can change the character as a moveset. And even more famously, in the Breath of the Wild game, you have to dress up as a woman to get into a certain area of the game. And just to be saying that Link is a little bit too comfy in doing that. And he also looks great in that outfit. Fantastic. He looks amazing. He is absolutely working it. He looks absolutely fabulous in drag. But while doing research for this video, I found out that a lot of people, a lot of trans gamers, consider this to be an iconic moment in gaming for trans people. Now, as far as I can remember, there are not many big AAA games or big mainstream games where you have to dress in drag and there is a mechanic, a reason, and a justification for doing it. But Breath of the Wild pulls it off and does it so naturally. The only other game I can really think of where that happens is Final Fantasy VII, where Cloud has to do it. But that bit of the game's a little bit creepy. But there was once a Polygon article, it's still up at the moment, so you can read it anytime you want, that it does say that Link has been tagged in over 17,000 pieces of fan fiction, and with over 2,000 of them featuring Link in a romantic relationship with Prince Sidon. People love to ship Link with Sidon and Ganondorf for some reason. I'm sorry, Zelda. A lot of people seem to really want Link to get with a fish person. I don't understand that. I'm not into fish people, but internet does the internet. And of course, there is the old friends to enemies trope of Ganondorf and Link. That is everywhere. Now, one of the things that definitely adds fuel to this fire is that Nintendo have never outright denied rumors that Link is queer. Instead, they decide to leave the door open for further interpretation, and so you can project whatever you want onto that character, which, like I said previously, is the point of a silent protagonist. Now, the Zelda producer Eiji Aonuma, whose name I probably really just butchered because I cannot pronounce Japanese names, once commented that all the way back in the Ocarina of Time development days, he really wanted Link to be a gender-neutral character. And personally, I think that the ambiguity of Link is something that makes so many queer people able to relate to him so much easier. Now, in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, Link has been given a very androgynous look, and there has always been a link between androgynous looking people and the LGBTQ plus community. There just is. Like, I can't think of a single androgynous celebrity that doesn't have rumours around their sexuality. So I think particularly the look in most recent games is a big factor into why they have become iconic in the queer community, or the queer gaming community. But one of the things I have noticed is that Nintendo themselves have gone back and changed the depiction of Link to make them more androgynous. When the Link's Awakening first came out way back in the 90s, I don't think it was very androgynous at all, but then when the remaster came out, which is the video you can see right here, they definitely, firstly, the animated sections of this game, they made it far more androgynous and sort of queer looking character, and then they cutesied all the graphics. I know that's a massive stereotype, but this game is so cute. It looks amazing. The graphics are probably some of the best graphics I've ever seen in my life for a Switch game, and it's fucking adorable. It actually is. It's one of the best. If you've not played this game, it's one of the best Legend of Zelda games. It's a good start because it has nothing much to do with the other Zelda games, and it's just fucking fantastic. Definitely one of the hardest video games, but I would say is probably the best gateway into the Legend of Zelda series if you like your top down. If you want my recommendation, if you want top-down Zelda, it's Link's Awakening. If you want your 3D Zelda, probably Ocarina of Time. I know that's a bit of a crime to say, but I think that Link to the Past is a much harder game and has way more things that you have to do if you want to play the game properly. Anyway, getting back to the point of the video, I'm going to talk about some personal stuff about the Legend of Zelda games and how much they mean to me. I think the first ever Zelda game that I played was A Link to the Past, very closely followed by Ocarina of Time. I cannot tell you which one I played first. I probably played them around literally probably 2 weeks apart. And in both of them games, I did not understand. I did not get an idea. I don't know if this was different for other people, but I had no sort of inkling that Link was Link was a love interest for Zelda. I just don't get that sense from him at all. I just assumed that they were very close friends or best friends, and he was off out trying to save his best friends. It wasn't until I played Skyward Sword where I got an inkling of their relationship, because in the Skyward Sword series, it very much there is a romantic relationship between Link and Zelda, and there just wasn't. I just didn't see that in any other game, any other Zelda game. I just don't really get that sense. I don't get that feeling. I don't get that vibe from them. And to have like I said, this is one of the key things about a sort of voiceless protagonist or silent protagonist in games, is that you can project your own feelings, thoughts, and stuff onto the character. Now, for me to have a story about a noble knight who goes out to save the princess and does not have anything to do with any sexual reasons of doing that or any romantic interest in doing that at all was such a refreshing take for me, and is probably why I fell in love so much with the series. I genuinely do not like it in films when films, games, any media at all, where the main motivation for someone saving someone is just romantic. I just don't get it. I don't see what the point in that is, and I think it takes away from that character's motivation and their ability to do things. In the wise words of Limp Bizkit, it just feels like they did it for the nookie. To give another example of this, in Star Wars, I find Luke Skywalker a way more relatable character once you realize, or once you find out later in the story, that Princess Leia is his sister and he's not trying to get with Princess Leia. I think that makes his character much more interesting, especially in the extended universe, in the novels, things like that. It just makes him a more interesting character where he has a higher duty and a higher responsibility to other things outside of love. I don't know whether that was just me being a weird child growing up, that I just didn't get the romantic connotations of these characters and just assumed that everyone was really close friends. I think I was a very naive child, especially when I just thought no, they can't possibly be lovers, they're just mates. I don't know if that's just me. I don't know if other people had that thought or feeling about Link. I would be really interested to know. So if you believe that is true, what I'm saying, then please leave a comment just to confirm that I'm not the crazy person here. But having a character that's motivations to save a woman was not love interest, having that character growing up was such a refreshing moment for me. Like, I genuinely, it meant so much to me growing up. It really did. And that kind of continued all the way into the GameCube era, because when it got to Wind Waker, his motivations in Wind Waker aren't to save Princess Zelda at first. His motivations are to save his sister, which is a far more interesting plot point, because that makes sense. That sort of plot point I can completely understand. But yeah, that's been me rambling on for about 10 minutes about my thoughts and feelings of The Legend of Zelda and why I think Link is a queer gaming icon, because he just is. I don't know what else I can really say. I just think he's just such a fantastically well-designed character. I've said many times that you can project what you want onto this character and make it your own, and it means so much to so many people. There are millions of people that love the Legend of Zelda franchise, and there are millions of people that love Link as a character. And within the queer community, he is an absolute staple of gaming. Maybe it's because of his androgyny, maybe it's because of his lack of love interest in Zelda in the majority of the game. The less we speak about Skyward Sword, the better. No, I joke, that's a good game. I like Skyward Sword. I like the HD remake. It's a much better way to play the game. But the story is a little bit subpar in that game, if you ask me. It doesn't really feel like a Zelda game. It's very linear. I'll play it again and see how I feel. But hopefully I have made my argument, or, well, explained my reasoning into believing that Link is a queer gaming icon. I hope this has been an informative video. Maybe you found out some stuff about this game franchise that you never knew before. If you have, please remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment below. Just explain to me if you disagree, if you agree. I would absolutely love to keep the discussion going about. I do ask though that you keep it civil. I will remove comments that I think are insulting or are homophobic. I just will. I'll probably even report you if I do. So please just respect each other in the comments. If it does turn into an absolute shit show, then who knows. But yeah, let me know what you think about this video. Let me know what you think about the subject of this video, and let me know about a character you would like me to cover in another video, because I'm more than happy to cover videos. I've got some planned up. I've got another video coming out next week. My plan is to get a video about queer gaming icons out every Tuesday of Pride Month being June. So there will be another 2 more videos coming up over the next couple of weeks, along with a very special gameplay video coming out on a Thursday, which is going to be very fun. First video should already be out, so have a look to see if it's still out. But yeah, that's everything I wanted to really say about this game, and wanted to say about the Legend of Zelda series and how much it has meant to me as a queer gamer. I don't normally put a lot of personal stuff out on YouTube, so it is a bit of a different direction I'm taking with these videos. So again, try and be nice and leave a comment below. And if you have liked the video, subscribe to the channel, because there's going to be more and more gaming content coming out all the time. Thanks for watching.